The Muslim delegation who recently returned from Afghanistan were reporting back to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in London. They spent a week seeing British military and civilian work there and meeting a range of people to gauge reaction to it.
A combination of both inspiration and pride. Inspiration at the Afghani people who, despite the last 30 years of their history and some of the turmoil they've suffered, they are optimistic for their future, and pride in being British. You know, the further away you go from your country, you tend to be more British, but also when you see some of the work we're doing, it does make you proud from whether it's development work, whether it's helping children go back to school, whether it's building hospitals, whether it's helping teachers be trained, whether it's providing security for Afghani people to go about their daily business. There's a huge amount going on, and one of the things that concerned us was the fact that we don't get to hear about this in the UK. There really are the British effort via the British people out there, military and non-military, our unsung heroes.
The visit was part of the Projecting British Muslims programme to share experience of UK life and to increase mutual understanding, as well as dispel myths about Islamic life in Britain.
One of the things that surprised all of us, we met both the intelligentsia, the Afghani middle class, but also ordinary Afghani men, women and children, was the lack of knowledge that there are Muslims in the West. The West isn't, full of infidels and kuffar and Afghani haters, and they were really receptive, hospitable, and really pleased to find out there are 2 million Muslims in the UK, British, Muslim, and most of them successful as well. And that was the biggest thing they found surprising. And that's one of the things that was commented upon is, look, you're giving us tangible material benefit, thank you for that very much. But also we'd like this non-tangible, non-materialistic dialogue.
Other areas of interest were empowering women in Afghanistan and how Afghans view what Britain is doing in their country.
My personal belief is that it's a trickle-down effect. You need to support and endorse the women in the big cities so that that message can come down. It's really important not to cross that line of cultural imperialism, not to impose a Western ideal of feminism on anybody. It's about encouraging, supporting and legitimising the work that those women in the bigger cities are doing.
There's a lot of confidence, behind the scenes at least, in what the British are doing, and there's a lot of respect for our development approach, which is in essence putting 80% of our resources into the government, and that's a very bold and very difficult decision for the British government to make, because we don't get any credit for the good work that the government are doing, and there are questions of corruption and bribery. But ultimately I think people recognise that building Afghan institutions, building the credibility and the authority of the Afghan government is the only way that we're going to build an independent nation, and it's the hard approach, it's the long approach, but it's the right one.
With the UK committed to spending £450 million in Afghanistan in the next 3 years, the Afghan people are beginning to recognise the importance of Britain's support to help rebuild their country.